What is happening, everybody? I am the Inadequate Streamer back again. I'm going to be doing another challenge of the Elders 1 today. And this week's rotation we have players deal more damage in the air. Minions of the Darkness won't flinch even after massive damage, and super kills are worth more points. So I don't think this will be a 30,000 plus point run, to be honest, because, you know, when I did the 30,000 plus one before, that was purely down to the modifiers and the fact that precision kills got more points. And when precision kills get more points, that's just easier for you because, you know, you can just aim for the headshots, head for the critical hits and all that, and you just get a ton of points, and that's the only reason why I was able to beat it. But this time round, I don't think I'll be as lucky, so don't expect the 30,000 point one. And I'm going to be experimenting with something. As you can see, I've got the armamentarium. I just got myself into the Wrath of the Machine raid to get all 5 chests that you can get without actually doing the first phase, and the armamentarium was one exotic that I got. In fact, it was the only exotic I got, along with a few legendaries as well. So as you can see, my setup right now pretty much is just Black Spindle, Sunbreaker and armamentarium, and that's what's going to happen here. Now I might switch up to, say, the Galahorn or the Sleeper Simulant with, say, the Takenaut or whatever I feel like having, in case things don't go to plan. Now the one thing I don't have is heavy ammo synths. I don't have a ton of heavy ammo synths to hand, purely because I was recording a video about how to beat Crota's End on hard as a Titan, and that took nearly 2 hours to do. That's kind of what happens in the Wretched Knight bat arena. But basically what happens is if you get too close, then he sort of stomps you back, and not only that, but he summons like a ton of mines as well, so you got to be very careful. So you just have to deal with the mines. And lucky you have the Black Spindle as well, so you just want to get into a position where you can actually hit like the wizards in a, you know, decent critical hit like that, and just take them out. And if you are going for like a points one, then try and get as many precision kills as possible, since that's going to grant you the most points in the long run. And generally as well, try and get as many kills as possible with the modifier, or utilizing the modifier that's active. So in case of this week's rotation, it's going to be the super kills that you're going to need to use in order to succeed. So as you see here, there's nothing that we can really use to increase our effective damage output against the Wretched Knight. As you see, I died by an explosion that never even happened, if you saw that. So that's a bullshit on the game's behalf for killing me so stupidly, so quickly. So part of me is thinking the Black Spindle's not going to be that useful against us unless we can just camp back and just keep scoring the precision hits and make this a do this as fast as possible one. But I don't know. I've never actually done something like that. So it's like we need to be in the air to do more damage, but then what kind of gun can we use when we're in the air to do more damage? So I guess I came at the wrong time, because you know, he did summon mines at like a inconvenient time when my health was low, and he just like got me in a bad situation. But rather than using Black Spindle ammo, you can just like shoot the wizards with your normal gun if you want to. And plus with the armamentarium you get like an additional grenade charge. But I like the year 1 variation better, because with the year 2 variation it's either increased heavy ammo or increased special weapon ammo, but the year 1 version gave you both. So it's, you know, what do you want? Do you want more heavy ammo or more special ammo, and that's the choice you have to make here, unless you can use like glass needles and, you know, just sort of switch it up a little bit, if you will. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the precision mag bonus as well. Landing precision hits constantly could give you your magazine back. But as you see there, it's just going to run out. You're going to run out of ammo very quickly. Standing there is not a very good idea. And I'm getting screwed over by nothing again. See, like that explosion that never happened. That's what I'm getting screwed over by. See, that's why I ran away. Just there, just to make sure I don't get completely messed over by the game, because that's what's going to happen here. The game's going to screw you over. As you see, I kind of got lucky with that attack to get that wizard with the rocket, because he could have just like moved out the way and that would have messed everything up. So I would say the wizards are sort of like top priority in the ads that spawn in the enemies. I hate this sort of like you can't just shoot them once and they're dead rubbish, you know. But that's purely because the modifier, there's a modifier one where the enemies don't flinch after taking damage, which kind of just makes this that little bit more harder, because then the enemies are just like going to constantly fire at you. So again, more mines. They only spawn either on the right hand side as you look, so all the way down there, or all the way down here. But it's not like, you know, it's in super inconvenient places, because you could just like go here and, you know, you'll be okay. And it's just a matter of getting away from the mines when they detonate, so you can, you know, survive. So this is the camp out space I would usually do for the wretched night. But as you see here, I'm kind of getting attacked, so I need to run away. And if there's mines, that's going to screw me over even more. So just run all the way back to the spawn. Pick some more black spindle ammo up, because that's going to be very helpful. Might try and use a super, I don't know. But if I'm going to use a super, I'd want to get quite a few enemies, and specifically the wizards as well, so screw it, I think that's what I'm going to do. What the hell was that attack just then? Oh, that was a fail. I should have threw it back this way. But yeah, as you see, getting super kills is quite beneficial, and that's why you kind of want to take out all the waves of enemies quickly, so that you don't actually deplete your point score. Because if you saw in the last Challenge of the Elders video I did, maybe, that if you take too long, Varix begins to deduct points off your score, because he's like an ignorant little bastard, and he wants to just like screw you over. So the optimal solution here would be to use a super kill on the Wretched Knight, or at least kill him with a precision kill like I just did there. That way you get basically more points, and that's what you want to do. But I think that's one of the few instances where I managed to beat a boss and it didn't deplete from the timer. You know, the hurry up, you slow idiot, just get into the boss kills. But for something like Valorune in the Cabal Arena, that's one that you can completely screw over your points run, because that's just a bad arena to do. And the Nahorisk, is it? The Taken Cabal guy. That's why I never do Challenge of the Elders when those two bosses are in the rotation, because they're the worst bosses to do. I don't mind any other boss except the Cabal bosses, which luckily this week there are no Cabal bosses. So thankfully, it's like the game listened to me, and or listened to my prayers and just wanted me to do this. So that's why I'm doing this. So hopefully I'm trying to keep a slot available here, because if the game's going to be good, it's going to give me an exotic drop in the form of an actual weapon in my special weapon slot. But Kex is betrayed. Sorry, it's if the game's going to be good, then I'm going to get myself an exotic in the form of the Queenbreaker's Bow, because that's the only House of Wolves House of Wolves exotic that I need to get, which does it, the House of Wolves exotics now drop from doing Challenge of the Elders, when it would have dropped from like not Skolas's Revenge as such, but it would have dropped from a random boss in the Prison of Elders, and the random boss in the Prison of Elders would give like a sigil or something, and you had to kill bosses in the Prison of Elders to complete a sigil, and then you get one of the weapons, and you chose which weapon you wanted in advance of doing the sigil, so you turn it into Varix initially, and then that's how you get like whatever exotics you wanted. But now it's like in the Year 2 version, you have to beat the Challenge of the Elders, and it's just literally a random drop. And I've seen people get like 2 weapons in one go. I've only ever done like one. I've only ever done like one sort of weapon every sort of Challenge of the Elders, because I've just been that unlucky to do it, and it kind of sucks because, as I just said to you guys, that the Queenbreaker's Bow is the only exotic I need in that sense, and I'm just not gonna. I haven't been lucky. I got like the Lord of Wolves 2 times not 2 times in a row. I got the Lord of Wolves twice. I got Dreg's Promise twice by doing Challenge of the Elders, all by myself, by the way, as well. That's what you have to keep in mind. This has all been done by myself, and not once have I gotten the Queenbreaker's Bow, and that's like the only gun I need, which kind of sucks, because watch the game give me like the Dreg's Promise again when I don't need it and don't even want it, but it'd be good to get it just to investigate and see if it actually drops 370 light or whatever, if it's going to be like the 330 light that it was before, when you would have done it. But anyway, the challenge behind Kexis here is that periodically is going to summon mines, and you have to stand in the sort of radius of the mine to sort of channel the corrupted light that Kexis took away from you, and that basically gives you back your light. But if you leave it, then you become a sort of not tainted, you get suppressed, kind of like if you hurt yourself with your own sort of a suppression grenade as the Defender Titan. So that's not what you want to do. Plus I was getting hit by something, I don't even know where that was coming from. So see, like this, so it says he's summons mine, so you come in here, channel the corrupted light, and I guess it's sort of like a the timing of it is proportional to the time you have to wait in the sort of radius of the mine is proportional to the amount of time it takes from the mines to spawn from you to get there. So say if you got there instantly, like when I did, and I got there instantly, then it just goes away instantly. But if you give it like 10 seconds, and you have to stay inside the radius of the mine for 10 seconds to sort of counter the explosive effects, if you will. And if you leave it for too long, then you get suppressed and you won't be able to use your super, you won't be able to use your melee attack ability, or just only be able to punch, and that's it. And yeah, that's pretty much what happens. So you saw that, because I did get suppressed at one stage in this. So yeah, that's what happens. As you see here, that this is what I was on about when I was in the first arena. This is kind of what you don't want to have happen if you want to beat his point score. And FYI as well, you don't actually need to beat the point score to get the exotic drop. You just need to beat Challenge of the Elders to get a chance, and that's all it is. It's a chance of an exotic, so don't actually expect much, because my logic is it's about 1 in every 6 games or something. one in every 6 challenge of the elders that you actually get an exotic drop, because that's how finicky the game is with this. So I've put myself the free of coins on, so in case the game's going to be, you know, not going to give me the Queen Breaker's bow from doing this, then at least I could get an exotic item of some description, which is, you know, going to be okay to get. But again, I usually want weapons. I don't want armor pieces, because to be honest, I'm happy with the armor pieces I've got, and I don't need additional armor pieces. So it's just a bit of a waste. Well, it's not a waste. It's always good to get some new armor pieces, and it's got to be new as well, not stuff I've already got, because this game loves to give you stuff that you already have, you know, when you've got it. So the point of just having something you've already got is just, I don't see the point of that. Use their dome against them. So yeah. Ah, those were not precision hits. That's why I never got the mag bonus back. It's kind of stupid when this happens, because it's like, you know, I'm trying to hit the enemy, but then he's like constantly firing these stupid taken homing balls or whatever, and it's just so annoying. Didn't want to do that. If you saw that, I actually pressed my super and he never did it. So optimal solution, get the final boss with a super kill, and it kind of just gives you everything around the boss as well that you were attacking at the time of killing him. So you can actually still get screwed over by this mine. And I think if you die, well, if you would have died there, then you might have had to have done the boss all over again. So just don't risk dying, basically. Just take your time. Unless you're going for a points one, then you don't have to take your time. You have to be quick. But thankfully, there's only that one mishap at the beginning with the mines and the Wretched Knight area, and dying for like nothing, basically, because that is like nothing. But it wasn't like the mine explosion, it was the spawning of the mine explosion that got me, and it just sounds pathetic when you think about it. But we are on the final boss, and this, guys, is probably one of the better bosses to have as the final boss, to be honest. It is going to be Vex. And I've looked in advance, that's why I do this. I only ever do Challenge of the Elders if there are no Cabal bosses. And I check online, Bungie.net, look under your activities, Challenge of the Elders, you can see what the bosses are. And yeah, obviously today's rotation, well, this week's rotation was Wretched Knight, Kexis, and now the Overmind Minotaur here. And I don't mind the Overmind Minotaur, just so long as you're careful, so you avoid those detain blasts, and you can just like take out the goblins and hobgoblins. It's a pretty, you know, simple arena when you think about it, and you can just camp in the area I did last time I did this. You know, hopefully you guys remember that area, which is just down there, and you can just like hide, and the enemies don't really get to you, and the Overmind Minotaur doesn't really get to you. So it's just like a win-win situation. But again, you got to be careful, because this is the most powerful, you know, wave of enemies. So the Overmind Minotaur is going to deal the most damage. The enemies are going to deal the most damage. But to compensate, you're going to get the most points for doing this. So just be very wary. That's all I can say. And just keep an eye out for these blasts as well. That is going to do and try and get you caught in like a detain field. So precision mag bonus, always well and good. I'm going to crouch so that I don't get caught. And he's over here now, just going to try and shift out the way so he can't get me. Nice little precision mag bonus, try and get a couple more hits off on him. There we go. And pretty much the same concept as before, where we're just trying to kill the enemies now. I like how it says that it's reinforcements incoming, then it's just like more, is that more reinforcements coming, or is it just like the same batch of reinforcements incoming? That's what I find kind of funny about that. You can kind of just beat the boss really quickly. And I remember one of the rotations, it was like either heavy weapon damage or maybe not solar burn. I don't think you get stuff like solar burn on in a Challenge of the Elders or anything like that. But I think it might have been heavy weapon damage, and I was using the good old sleeper simulant, which is very, very powerful, and landing the precision hits on the Overmind Minotaur as well, when that was like the easiest boss or the lowest level boss. Is just ridiculous how easy and how quick you can kill him. So in a situation like that, that's when you want to have, you know, like a good fast Challenge of the Elders run. And I see people like on the Bungie.net forums who just like you know, purely say we're going for like a Challenge of the Elders farm. We're just going to go through Challenge of the Elders quickly to see if we can get the exotics. And while I would love to do that, part of me just wants to try and get some of the points as well, because that's kind of the purpose of Challenge of the Elders. It's like a score attack, and you gotta get those points. Gotta get your high score. Getting hit by a hobgoblin there, which is not good. I could always put myself another 3 of coins on for this boss, but I don't know if I will. I'm thinking about it, because all I would really need to do is just kill these enemies, camp in like this tunnel area, and just activate a 3 of coins, and Bob's your uncle, as they say. Just it means there you go, you've done it. But again, trying to be very careful. So the enemies can still mess you up if you're not careful. Like, I'm going to get messed up here. I guarantee it. Okay, maybe not, because I'm seeing the motion tracker around me, and I'm seeing like something moving around out here. So that could always be something that messes you up. And thankfully, these greens, they don't go to your postmaster if you don't get them. So don't bother about the greens, because unless you're like level 39 trying to do this, which you should not be level 39 trying to do this, because you're not going to get any good items to help you deal with this at level 39, believe it or not, because that's all 190 gear, and we're at level 40 and we're getting like gear that's double that pretty much. So yeah, that's what's going on here. I'm just going to camp back and try and super him up because I can. Yeah, there we go, we got him. Extra points as well. Wasn't attacking anybody else, so don't get any credit there. And even though I used 3 of coins, I got no exotic for beating the guy, unless it glitched for the floor. But 23 minutes minus the intro, that's a pretty decent run, to be honest, of Challenge of the Elders to do that. So I only lost minimal points for doing that, so that's kind of good when you think about it. Now, instead of going to the center area and dropping into the crystal barrows below the actual Prison of Elders, you just get sort of kicked to orbit pretty much instantly from this menu. So I'm just going to get rid of this green very quick to basically see if I get anything. So it won't appear here. It would appear once you actually get out of this menu that you're going to see in a minute. So obviously it says like, oh yeah, you got a legendary and you got an item, and then when you press hold Y to continue, it's going to show up here if you get something, which obviously I won't. So I told you, obviously I didn't. I had the space, so even though I had the space, the game didn't give me the drop, which sucks, because that means I'm going to have to do Challenge of the Elders again to get the drop. Basically, you just have to keep at it. That's all I can say as advice to anyone who wants to do that. It's just, you have to keep going. You have to persevere and just keep doing it, because sooner rather than later, the game's just going to give you the drop. And that's all I can really say about that. So without further ado, guys, without showing you anything that you don't want to see, I am going to be ending this video here. Thank you for watching. This has been the Inadequate Streamer, showing you how to do Challenge of the Elders for, well, the week of Remembrance in November 2016. Obviously today is Remembrance Day, and I don't know if I will upload this on Remembrance Day, but just remember, guys, there are people in the past that fought to make our world what it is today, and we all should be appreciative of that. So don't be afraid to show your respect, even if people will mock you for it. Just be a good person. That's all you could really want in today's society. And without sounding like an old sort of what's the word, philosopher or whatever, I'm just going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.